Daily Dr. Racket. This is Wilson. We're gonna go through this book, How to Design Programs, as I said last time. So, and I have my Dr. Racket opened. I was thinking of doing just exercises, but this would just like give me like new fodder to make new videos, because I have to make them every day. So I have to say something in my videos. So I think I want to finish Fire Red as well, like the Fire Red series. After that, I'll just make Dr. Racket. Well, we'll see. So it says, when you were a small child, your parents taught you to count and perform simple calculations. Then they would ask you, what is 3 plus 2? A new program in the same way, blah, 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 blah. Now it's time to switch roles. Start Dr. Racket. Select choose language. I think this is already in there. Teaching language. Yeah, I think it's better to me too, because this is like very basic. Usually a math book is designed in a way where you have examples and then you have questions. So let's see, where do they have these questions? These are probably just the examples. Yeah, I was thinking, I'll read through the book, but like it's I will eventually run into problems once I start to execute them. But I don't like info dumps, so like I can read through this, but and I think all of this is probably good information. I'm just skipping through all of this. So yeah, we don't have any questions still here. Let's try to read this. In comparison to previous version of Picture Rocket, this shows program. You are a programmer now. Not. So, where are the questions? I don't see them. Okay, let's try to read something. Sorry, it's like there's no scripted, just doing this just to make a video. But it's better than doing like Pokemon Fire Red videos, because then at least I'm learning something, although this might not get that many views. So, and I've been thinking that if my titles are good, then like those videos get a lot of views as well. So here you start, and this is something I did. 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. That's how simple you ask questions as if Dr. Racket were a child and Dr. Racket computes for you. You can also ask Dr. Racket to process several requests at once. See, let's try plus 2, and don't forget the space, otherwise there'll be an error. 3. What should I title this video as? 4, 2, 6, 2. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's in Iran you get 4, 9, 2, 3. So for those who don't know, this is addition, this is multiplication, this is subtraction, and this is division. In other programming languages you do something like this, 6 upon 2, but here you will have an error. Oh, you don't have an error here. That's interesting. So I think it just yeah, you don't have an error here, so you can write 6 by 2. That's great. That's a new discovery. and the top half is called the definition area. So this is the definition area. In the area you create programs which is called editing. As soon as you add a word or change something in definitions area, the save button shows up in the top left corner. Top left corner. So I don't see a save button, but you do see a star here, so that means it's not saved. But I won't save it now because I don't want you to see my files. Dr. Racket asks for name of the file you can save. Once your definition area is associated with file, click save ensures that the content of definition area is stored safely in a file. Okay, that's pretty obvious. So programs consists of expressions. You have seen expressions in mathematics. For now, an expression is either a plain number or something that starts with the left parenthesis and ends with the matching right parenthesis. So this is an expression. This whole thing is an expression because it starts with the left parenthesis and ends with the right parenthesis, which Dr. Racket shading between rewards by shading the area between the pair of parentheses. When you click run, Dr. Racket evaluates the expressions in the definitions area and shows their results in the interaction area. So you saw this. This is like very much like you're doing like a high school programming class. And this is a funny anecdote, right? When I was learning Java in year 11 and year 12, obviously I did not know how important that programming skill is, so I neglected those classes. But that dude would just read through the whole book, and I never realized that basically you don't learn programming and math by those kind of things. You learn them by doing. You learn them by practicing. And it's really a sad thing because if I had known that then programming and math would have been my favorite subjects. And so you guys might hate me for basically doing it in a very like classroom kind of format, but I apologize for that. I am not practicing what I preach, but from time to time I'll give you funny anecdotes. So, and this is one of the funny anecdotes where I'm trying to sort of read through like I did, like our teachers did in school, and I really hated it then, and now it's like, although info dumps can be very important when you're learning like biology or something like that, but for this kind of thing of programming, like info dumps are a waste of time. Although I should say that reading documentation is also very important. So, because like I could have skipped to the questions and then I wouldn't have understood all of this, and then I would have to go back. So, yeah. So let's continue. When you click run, Dr. Racket evaluates the expression in the definitions area and shows the results in the interaction area. So you saw that. Then Dr. Racket, your faithful servant, awaits your command at the prompt. Greater than, this is a greater than sign. So yeah, we see it here. The appearance of prompt signals that Racket is waiting for you to enter additional expressions, which it then evaluates like those in a definitions area. So you see that. Enter an expression at prompt, hit the return or enter on your keyboard. Does Mac have return? Because I have enter. I am on a Windows machine, but I'm using Linux. So, I'm using Lenovo laptop. It was originally installed with Windows, and I've deleted Windows. You can do so often as you wish. So 2 plus root sine 0. Yeah, this is square root of 3. So this is a new expression. Like, let's type this. You can basically the point is you can do it as much as you want to. And then you have exponent 2, 3. Okay, I think this space is not that important then, but if there's an error, we'll see. So that's 2 power 3, that's sine 0. I have to do trig as well, trig and trigonometry, and I want to learn all the math and stats. Cos pi, yeah. Caused by this I is like an imaginary number. So take a close look at the last number. It's hash I. Its prefix is short for I don't really know the precise number, so take that for now, or an inexact number. Unlike your calculator or other program, because I think this is like root of -1. I'm not sure, but I think I had read it somewhere in the Dr. Racket series. Unlike your calculator or other programming systems, Dr. Racket is honest. When it doesn't know the exact number, it warns you with a special prefix. Later we will show you really strange facts about computer programs, and you will then truly appreciate that Dr. Racket issues warnings. By now you might be wondering whether Dr. Racket can add more than 2 numbers at once, and yes, it can. As a matter of fact, it can do it in 2 different ways. So that's how Dr. Racket is adding numbers. I should enter this space because like 2, 3, 4. So yeah, that's just 9, 2 ways of getting 9. The first one is nested arithmetic. So let's highlight this with Control H. As you know it from school. The second one is PSL arithmetic, and the letters is natural, because in the notation you always use parentheses to group operations and numbers together. The book does not teach you Racket, even if the editor is called Dr. Racket. Okay, so it's teaching you Lisp basically, or how to program, because that's the title. In BSL, every time you want to use a calculator operation, you write down an opening parentheses, the operation you wish to perform, say plus, the number, and finally a closing parentheses. The items following the operations are called the operands. Nested arithmetic means that you can use an expression for an operand, which is why +2, +3, +4. Now here's where I have to understand, because I'm doing freestyling now, so means that you can use an expression for an operand. Yeah, I guess. So the items following operation are called operands, so I think this is an operand. And this is what I'm saying, the numbers on which operation should work, separated by spaces or line breaks. So the operation plus should work on these. The item following the operation are called operands. So this +2 is an operand. And also, if you do the how to program course on the OSSU, there's a question where it tells you which ones are the operands. So this is an operand, so which is follows the plus. You can do this as often as you wish. There are no limits to nesting except in your patience. Naturally, when Dr. Racket calculates for you, it uses the rules that you know and love from math. Like you, it can determine the result of an addition only when all operands are plain numbers. If an operand is parenthesized operator expression, something that starts with an opening parentheses and an operation, it determines the result of the nested expression first. Yeah, this I did not know. So if something is within this, it will first. So it probably means to say if something is like this, then it'll do like 3 into 3 is 9. I can type this, but I skipped through it. Yeah. So this is basically saying you can do it as many times as you want to. Don't know if I should type it. Unlike you, it never needs ponder which expressions to calculate, because the first rule is the only rule there is. So basically it's just starting to evaluate like expression. There is a rule for this, and it is covered in how to program. But I think what it means to say is that all these parentheses, they get analyzed. And I think these guys will cover it as well later. The price for Dr. Racket's convenience is the parentheses have meaning. You must enter all these parentheses and you may not enter too many. For example, while extra parentheses are acceptable to your math teacher, this is not the case for BSL. The expression 1 plus 2 contains way too many parentheses, and Dr. Racket lets you know in no uncertain terms. So plus 1 and 2 function call expected a function after parentheses. I think this will probably do an error. Let's try that. Yeah, see, expected a function call after open parentheses, but not a number. So basically, when you have a parentheses like this, you need a function. Let's just replace it with 1. Okay, so you need plus in both places. I used to get this wrong many times actually when I was trying to solve the problem, but this is why they tell you at least expected. Now you have another error. So I made an error out of an error. That's great. Once you get used to BSL programming though, you will see that it isn't a price at all. First you get to use operation on several operands at once, if it is natural to do so. If you don't know what an operation does for several operands, enter an example into interactions area and hit return. Dr. Racket lets you know whether and how it works. Or use help desk to read documentation. Yeah, this is something I need to do. So basically it's saying that because of this functionality, you have the ability to use one operand on a large number of numbers. So, and here it's also saying that you don't have to wonder when you're writing programs, you don't have to wonder which expressions are evaluated first. The parentheses and nesting will tell you. Oops, my bad. I pressed an S, I might have to remove that. In the context of program, to write down comprehensible arithmetic expressions and computers to determine their value. With Racket, it's easy to explore this kind of programming in computing. So I think this is it for today. I'll cover more later. Like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more. And peace out. And yeah, consider donating through PayPal.